Brenda, as an adoption support worker working with families, one of the most common complaints I get, whether it's after people have adopted, or sometimes it's the biggest thing they're concerned about before they adopt, is having kids who lie and steal. Mm-hmm. What would you say to that?
Well, yeah, and lying and stealing is certainly a big, big issue, and it's the same for me. For people who are consulting with me prior to adoption, they'll say, I just have to trust them. Mm-hmm. I can't deal with lying and stealing. I'm a very honest person, can't deal with it. And again, after, this child lies and steals. Mm-hmm. And you know what I always say is chances are that if you've got a pre-parented child, they're going to lie and they're going to steal. And there's a million reasons for that. It could be the prenatal exposure to alcohol that has harmed their impulse control, so they just steal by impulse. It could be the fact that they've been lied to their whole lives, so they don't really get a sense of reality, you know. And all the families they've had that said, you'll be with us forever, and of course they're not. The parents who said, I'll love you, and of course they may have loved them, but they couldn't care for them. The social workers who say, well, I'm your social worker now, we're going to get to know each other, and then boom, social worker gets pregnant and goes on leave, doesn't come back, or social worker gets transferred, or, you know, they're lied to constantly. Not on purpose, but it is a lie. So I don't think many of the kids don't place any value on telling the truth, because it hasn't been part of their reality. And it's also a way of expressing anger. It's a way of expressing grief. It can be a part of hoarding. You know, I'm just going to hang on to anything I've got. There are just so many factors that go into lying and stealing. And I really think, put that at the bottom of your list. You know, it's probably going to happen. I know there's lots of therapists out there who say that they have solutions and methods, and go ahead and try them. You know, but personally, I've not seen any that actually, in the long run, work. I think that you've got a child who's, if they're coming into your home, or they've only been with you a while, or if they've been with you a few years, their whole life has so much to be dealt with that is so huge. The initial abandonment from the genetic parents, I mean, that abandonment is going to impact their lives forever. You know, my favorite way of describing it is that grief and loss, identity formation, all of that kind of thing, the issues that go with pre-parented children and adoption are the actors on the stage, and attachment is the director, but abandonment is the writer. And so they're going to be struggling with that issue forever. And if the only way it's coming out is lying and stealing, then you're very lucky. You know, there's bigger fish to fry here, bigger issues to deal with. Parents don't like that when they say that. You know, they say, well, we don't want to have to lock our purse or not bring money home. We don't want to lock our cupboards. We don't want to live that way. Well, you know, I think you're going to have to. Let's work on the abandonment issues. Let's work on helping their frontal lobes develop through nurturing and care and positive discipline. The lying and stealing then may fall to the wayside, but it is a symptom. And we've got to go after the bigger things, the bigger traumas, the bigger wounding that they're living with. And as I said at the beginning, put that at the bottom. It's a symptom. It's going to go if the rest heals.
So what do you say to the parents who come to you 6 months or a year after placement saying, it's still happening and I don't like it?
Yeah, and so then I do a lot of work with them about, of course you don't like it, nobody likes it, and you don't want to support it, but let's look at what it's doing to you. Let's look at how you can manage your feelings around this. Let's look at why that's what you need to go to instead of the bigger issue of the abandonment pain that's underneath it that triggered it. What is their block that they're going to go for the symptom rather than working on the bigger issue?
Okay.